So just welcome to the Bible Society head office here in Swindon. It's a fantastic opportunity we have today, and we're going to be talking about this wonderful, brand new Good News Bible Children's Rainbow Edition. And we as a society believe that this is the best full text Bible for children. We just want you to take our word for it. We've also brought in Bob Hartman, who is an author and storyteller. And we're just so fascinated to have you here, Bob. Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
I am doing very well, thank you.
How was your commuting?
It was great. I live in Trowbridge, so it wasn't far. 45 minutes or so. Nice drive up through the countryside. Fantastic. No complaints.
Oh, excellent. I'm glad to hear that. Well, Bob, I do believe that we were able to give you a copy of the Children's Rainbow Edition previously.
Did, yes.
Fantastic. How did you find it?
I thought it was terrific. I mean, I can't say enough good things about it. It's accessible. It tells the big story of the Bible and points out to the kids how they can understand the Bible's big story. The color plates are absolutely gorgeous. There's questions for the kids to consider. I mean, it's just it's the whole package. That's what it is. Everything you need, I think, for your kids to understand the Bible and enjoy it.
Fantastic. Is there obviously there's some fantastic highlights, anything specific that really stood out to you that was so eye-gripping?
I think the way that the stories are linked back and forth across the Old Testament and the New to give the kids a sense that it really is one great big story. Fantastic. I think that helps enormously.
Excellent. And just with a Bible of this sort of size and what the content is like, what impact do you think that will have for children who are going to read it?
Well, I think it just makes it accessible. It makes it possible for them to read it knowing where the story is going and what it's all about. It's not like they have to dive into it and go, I didn't know what's going on here, as even so many adults do. This is a chance to open it up for them in a way that they'll understand, to help them through it and to appreciate God's big story.
Yeah. So why is it so important to get the Bible into the hands of children and get them into that big story?
Well, because unless they understand God's big story, they really won't understand who God is. I mean, God reveals himself to us, I think, primarily through narrative, through story. And it's by being exposed to those stories of God's relationship with his people over the generations that helps kids, helps all of us understand who God is. The truth of who God is revealed in his story.
Yeah. And so obviously you've had a chance to look through it and some of the interactions, illustrations. In terms of the interactions, how do you think that will help children engage with the Bible itself?
Well, I think anytime you ask kids a question, something for them to consider, then it opens up possibilities for them to explore the story more deeply. They don't just take it on the surface, but if you ask the question, they'll quite hopefully go back and look again and think, oh, well, that's what it's all about. That's the answer. That's what I'm meant to get from this particular story. Yeah. I mean, it's not the only thing you're meant to get from the story, obviously. But sometimes when you draw an arrow and ask a question, at least it opens up one door, and then maybe that leads to more doors.
Yeah, fantastic. And just in regards to the presentation of the Bible, what is your opinion of the illustrations that have been used?
Oh, they're terrific. I mean, those color plates are absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful.
Do you have a particular favorite illustration that you saw?
Oh, that's a tricky one. I think, I quite like the David and Goliath one. Goliath looked incredibly menacing, and David looked incredibly small. So that's quite a good one, I think. Yeah.
Excellent.
And the water into wine one I thought was quite nice as well. I mean, it was an interesting, but I think a very good choice to show something that Jesus was up to, some very special thing he did early in his ministry.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate those comments, Bob. And just really for you, what do you think will be the key thing about this Bible that will make parents and grandparents or even teachers and schools want to buy this for children?
I think it's the accessibility. I think if you want your kids to really understand what the Bible is about, and do it, I think, in an enjoyable way, because I think it's a very enjoyable book. You know, it's appealing, it draws you in. I think if you want it to be accessible and enjoyable, this is the Bible to use.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Bob. Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
I hope that you really enjoy your own copy and are able to pass it on to your children.
I'm just trying to decide which kid to pass it on to, you know. Yeah, I mean, my youngest grandson would be perfect for it. A couple in the States, that would work for them too. But I've got some kids in the church. I don't know. Somebody's going to get it.
Excellent. Well, Thank you for your time, Bob. Really appreciate all you've done.
My pleasure.
Well, very well, thank you for joining us. I'm just going to throw back to the studio now for the rest of this continuing launch party. And we'll hope to see you real soon. Don't forget, there's a Children's Rainbow Edition. It's being launched on September the 8th. It's $18.99. So why not make it your priority to get the best full text Bible for children?